give me the beat.
Good evening, all out there. Hellos.
Holy shit, we got a fence.
Anywho, let's all begin. Let's see, nothing fancy, nothing to do. Oh, same number of people out there as per normal. Anyhow, let's roll it up as we go, shall we? It's, here we are, about to go right back into it, and I say, well, judging by the number of you out there, we should just pretty much dive over pretty quick. Yeah. All of you. Yep. Anyhow, let's just drop off that, cut out any other chit-chatter around the line. So, here we are, back at the stormy side of things. It's thundering pretty good out there. Great effect, by the way. Add some more heaven on high to see if we can get our machinist to 69, at least 70 at the best. So, again, primary reason, this is nice and fast. We get going pretty quick. Had some good games. Good weekend, and how was yours? Those that played along, came along, we did the Cyberpunk sort of Friday, Saturday, and then we're back into this again Monday. Away they go. We're on a short map. Someone just found a landmine. Warrior. Nice. I guess they weren't finished murdering everything on the level. What do we got here? We have actually got a heavy party here. We have myself, machinist, Kenelez de Zoro on the warrior, Demir Belmont as a astrologian, and Lucian Darkwrath, nice, as a summoner. Definitely got the robes for it. Definitely has the robes for it. Though being followed around by the glowy blue carbunk, ease it away a little bit. Kind of want something else, really. Let's pop the fortune for extra goodies. Move on. Oh, let's get another fortune. We'll swipe this one, and I don't know how much further along we go this way, but let's do. Let me guess, Warrior wound up getting the right royal toot. That's not enough. That blew up. Fortunately, it blew up the right person. And yes, the healer is the right person to blow up. Primarily reason, they're the ones who basically know they need to be healed. What's it, gold? Well, Peloton for some seed. What did I do? Yesterday? Slept, program, fun, games, general jerking, you know, all the good stuff. Being a jerk to this guy, being a jerk to that guy in this video game and that video game. You're pretty good, I must admit. Why didn't I stream them? Great question. Now, I want to constantly be like guys streaming 24/7. I'm sure that would just wear solidly. Joy for myself. And, you know, you're gonna wear yourself out. You're just gonna wind up burning out. And it's not gonna be good. Right? Besides, I have one day to do silly things on. Pop, bang, bang. Nice. Do we have 3 of these each way? Nope. I missed that one. Oh, I'm not gonna cry on it. I'm sure the team's wondering, why is this guy slow? Yeah, feel free. Nifty. Fills the battery up. That heat fills the heat bar up. Not on this floor. Noise. I'm fine. I mean program. Program? Oh yes, yes, yes. Design document. But like I said, every gamer has the want to build their own game. I must admit, stream talking about it has made me want to put it down on paper at least. You know, I don't think that's wrong. Oh, you filthy mongrel. My chance to get a free piece of loot. Oh yes, for those who want to know, the Otter, of course, was going on the auction house for about 850, 900 somewhere. Not bad. And the saddle, we tracked that. The saddle was a decent price. What can I say? Sides. Okay. Also, put down more ginger drink for some, so that we can have that. And it finishes brewing. It's good stuff. Ooh. Intuition says on this floor. Not necessary, but okay. You're gonna pop those, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Oh, that one. Oh yeah. Just gonna drop it right away, so I'm just gonna get Peloton right away. Perfect. Thank you, Demir. Thank you for the healers. Hmm. Seeing Dark Wrath. It's a Dalen Darkfire. See what's in the bag. Ooh, I got a goodie. Honestly, it didn't sound like you got that good a goodie. Morph Rabbit. Oh, tasty. Tasty little thing. I will add that to my collection. I do not have that one. Yes, that could be more money, but... No, I don't run alone. It's entirely possible, but you don't get any more or less experience for doing it on your own. It's just for prestige points to run the tower on your own. And as I said, my FC leader, Aslang, can do, or Aslang, or Alsang? Alsang, Aslang. Right? Alsang does a much better job of it. Okay, so the tongue on wait a minute. Interesting. Oh, first run was a bit fast. This one's not so fast. Well, so sad. But yeah, 525,000 side is all good. Can't argue with that sort of experience. Not really, especially when it costs you nothing and you can technically, as I said before, many times, run it with anything. It's good fun. Well, not really. It's grindage, but it's grindage of the entertaining variety, which makes it less grindy. That's really what determines the difference between good grind and bad grind. Because let's face it, all MMOs have a grindy section to them. You know, it's the I need to get to this level to do this effect type thing. Therefore, I must build this, run this, do this, you know, whatever X, Y, Z challenge. Give me a second, I'm just going to get rid of that for a moment. Perfect! Just reduce my audio player so that I can see chat's window. Yes. The cats go. Being Curry, Izaki, Jack Neelis. Oops, and I'm clicking outside the window again. Dun-dun-dun. That's what we stood on. One of us blew the pants off everyone else. about me. I've got Peloton. I can run faster. I'm surprised no one's snapping the resurrection. Always good to have that up as quickly as possible. Oh, did they find another? Did they all go boom a second time? I didn't notice. Oh, yeah, no. Warrior went kaboom. Oops, I'm on the wrong shaft. Oh. Oh. So it's up for a game of Minesweeper then. Fortune and Frailty. No, it's not flipped yet, gentlemen.
Probably not.
Probably not. Oh, what can I say? One day doing things that pretty much I enjoy, but one day doing things. The old saying, find something you enjoy and you never work a day in your life. There's a truth to that. It reminds me of another truth that I was told. That is to make sure you buy the best shoes you can afford and the best bed you can afford. Because as the chef told me once, if you're not in one, you're in the other. See if I care. Dude. Yeah. Warriors really can do a lot of things. They're just absolute bull. I'm not even remotely kidding on that either. I've seen warriors tank literally boss fights from like a third of the boss's health to 0 as the only player up. No healers, no this, just tank it right through. Wow. Okay, box. Yeah. Just that. No, a little bit. No, it's perfectly fine. Ooh, that just appeared in the next room. Yep. Told you. Hear it. That'd be really sad. Perfect. One more floor. Paint that floor blue. Toast. We get one more goodie. Good enough. Yeah. I don't care if they run down there this way. Drawers complete. The mission over. Ninja just wants to get a little more loot. That's his prerogative. Aura. Vera. Another Vera. Food or phone is the question. Definitely. GG, folks. Three bags of loot. Excellent. Out to have the fun. Ooh, and it's a goodie. Hunting hawk. I think I've got that. I'm sure. Pretty sure. But it is good. Oh, 2 goodies. Morpho. We already opened a Morpho. And Prism Raven. Yes, we already have the Hunting Hawk, and like I said, you already had the Morpho. You're only allowed one, so if you're not sure if you have it or not, just use it. If you don't have it, you'll basically instantly have it. Quickest way to make money. Run low-ish dungeon. Any dungeon you can run on your own, over-leveled. Fastest way to make coin. Right, though, whatever the highest dungeon you can run as solo, basically. Now you can run any of the lower dungeons. Like I could run a level 40 dungeon as my summoner, not a problem. Right? I run as a level 90 summoner to a level 40 dungeon, just about one-shotting everything on the way. Right? Yeah, just like annihilating trash piles as we go. Right? And you can make some pretty good money that way. It's like, well, okay, so you get all the loot, yes. A lot of loot from, nice bed, those dungeons can be turned into for seals, and seals allow you to buy materials that can be a pain in the butt. Take petrified wood or certain resins and stuff. They're needed for a lot of the crafting stuff in the workshops. Like even now I know we've got like 200 coking coal in the bin, and I know I need another ton of the stuff to continue on because it's used in all the high-end dark steel and vermilion we need to build the high-end subs and airships. And you need high-end subs and airships to go fetch long-range materials that you need for other housing projects. You get caught in this catch-22. You need this to do this, and you need that to do that. But instead of, you know, grinding something like hull, or hull breaker on hard for 1 or 2 coke and stuff like that, which is where you get it. You can do those runs. You can also buy it with seals from the your grand company. You can also, from your grand company, purchase what are called resource caches. And a resource cache has a chance to give you rare pets and minions, bards, and barding and stuff like that. As you can see, some pets fetch, you know, they're not worth the amount of seals it takes to buy the box, but others, on the other hand, are very worth it. And you can run fates for seals, or you can run dungeons. Well then. So we all missed it. And the auto heal's disabled. Why wouldn't you step on this and get the goodie? Seems defeating the person. Oh, there you are. So, Juniper Haskell, Duke Shu Thorin, and Celia Farblade. Cool enough. What's with a name like Darkfire using a gun, or Fireblade using a gun? It just is a thing. Family name, not to complain. Did he just really just try to tank both of those in the face? Damn cats. Oh. Oh, and aren't you more nice? Oh, God. sit on the keyboard. Ooh. And it's right there in front of us. Nice. Oh, I didn't want that. No. Noise. Oh, if I was solo, I'd probably be trying to get every piece of loot I could. As much as I could. As often as I could. Pretty accurate. Yay! Just when you think you need a jump start to your day, remember, caffeine sometimes is not enough. Yeah. I haven't been getting a lot of good loot this way, but I will probably be giving the thank you to Juniper there. Tank. Okay, so we have. Oops. Nice. Three of us have puppy. Oh. Was. Say that to the last 200k they got. A big guild for cosmetics, what can I say? You're not necessarily a Morpho. I'll just trade it for a little Jeremy. Morpho or hunting. Nope. Nope. Enough. Yep. Five bags of goodness. Oh, she's got my coat. And in white. It does look great. It looks good in white. I'll admit that. It's a Falconer shirt. Don't sell for that much. Major there. Ugh. Waste. That's not so bad. Clear domain here is not bad yet. Oh, and tomorrow's Tuesday. Of course, you know what that means. Yeah. Right. And tomorrow's Tuesday. That means, of course, we have our first chase of do some more quick deliveries and everything resets so that we can earn even more MGP and goodies from challenges. Lives aren't worth holding on to. That one. Ah, yes, there are some things that are untradeable. Don't know. But like I said, that's only worth 6. That one's worth 16. That's why these ones sell a top. Only usable this, and they're 8-point regeneration. You say you have 20? Probably. Set quantity 0. There's 20 in the set. That's what it's saying. So if I wanted paid 1, I'd get 20 of them. Useful one doing yourself. Already reset, didn't I? I did. Ooh boy. I think I need a race. Just something for the mind to reset. I haven't been going. What are we at? 1 hour almost? 4 runs? Something like that. Honk. Got an absolute honk on that right away. So. Oh. Are we seeing anyone else? No. Gives Luna a little more run. Helps break up what I'm doing. Okay, we got a grab a ball. Nice. Aw, you douche. Well, I will use that to my advantage then. Cocoa Potion works like... Oh, one of those would be brilliant. So we're all pretty much where we were going to be. I can't use my ability because I got hit with the spider web. And that's what spider web does. It prevents you from doing anything. But because it's the Chocobo's ability, it's like 30 seconds of silence. You can't do anything. And I had my own spider web taken off me by that imp that I picked up on. But still, that gave me the 5 O's. Oh, I hadn't been to at least the race that time. Did all sorts of other things. So, I feel better. Feel better. Oh, you know, little Warframe, little War Thunder. Bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I don't think I would mind putting a little Master Duel on screens, I would admit. War Thunder, not so much. Right. Right, you can have cases of just watching someone just go boop, and you're instantly toast, and you're like, right? I'm no good at that. I suppose that could be an entertaining thing for people to watch. Like, oh, watch this guy who can't play the game get absolutely decimated. Right, you know, that could be an entertaining thing to watch. Problem is, War Thunder has that sort of wonderful side effect to it, too. And that side effect is that Gaijin Games has their own sort of thing with it. I don't really want to get caught up with that. I don't mind playing the game, but I don't really want to be a Gaijin broadcaster. Is, well, prerequisite of so many hours, and I don't want to seem to be working towards that when I'm not. So I'll leave that one on its own. General mayhem, but I do like having an offline game to sort of hammer around, just in case, you know, the internet goes out. I'm not streaming, but more of a case, the odd case that all the games are on maintenance. Online games have to run maintenance periodically. And it just sucks when you wind up, oh yeah, we're playing this game and it's on maintenance, and this game's on maintenance, and that game's on maintenance. Terrible. Little hard candy. Lifesaver, to be precise. Sitting just at the lower jaw. It's like nang, 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 nang. Lemon. So who are we with here? Fear, Metatonic, Tonic. And fair enough. Alexander Hamilton. I have to disagree with Alexander's name to a degree. Giving yourself a historical persona or persona's name can be bad. You can wind up with individuals who do not see it as what it is. Right? Things that are famous from culture should be left. Especially in today's culture, you're bound to... Well, let's just put it this way. It's very easy to offend the offendable. It doesn't matter which side of politics that sits on. And when the offendable are offended, you're... yeah, that. I couldn't have asked for a better example of what happens. You get blowed up. It's even worse when there's multiple people in history that have the same name. Just look like how many Henrys were in King of England. I don't know. Now, one of the few rules: don't use your own name. Don't use names that are found in popular culture fictional. Don't call yourself Logan or something, like, you know, in reference to Wolverine. That's just going to get yourself into trouble. That was one of the things you kept running into in the game Champions Online. The number of people who were, you know, number of Spider-Men or X-Men wannabes or the similar. Yeah, my original character is totally not Wolverine or Psylocke or whoever. Well, Champions Online superhero game, so for your cosmetics, you get this, that, and the other. You could easily make yourself look like just about any other character out there. Real or fictional. And of course, your game name and your actual character's name allowed everyone to have the exact same thing. Like I said, the number of... You get multiple people with the name Spider-Man. Well, because the way the game names worked in that, your game name was actually your username, hashtag, then whatever name it was after that. So, the only name that had to be unique was your username. Of course, be all sorts of fun. And I don't know how badly those guys had to constantly deal with that problem because of possible copyright infringements. Like, it's just this user, yeah, but you give them the tools to do so. mean? That's a... Oh, he's in trouble. No, he's fine. He's fine. He'll be fine. It's like, oh no, someone's on their own fighting. I don't know what. Look up. Oh crap! It's wait, it's a war here. He's good. Warrior's fine. We got a steal out of it. At least we got 2 to finish them with. We'll pick up the gold or the goodie though. Grant banded chest. Oh. Well, concealment's not just for getting past mobs and stuff like that. Thank you. No choice of 2, I will thank you. Things die quickly. Oh well. 2 silver haloed bags. What's in the bag, you say? That's great. Let's find out. Nothing special. Aw. Yes. Also nothing special. A Lominson Sparkler. A shame. It is a shame. Right? It's a solid fact of getting nothing. Alime Kuma Mushitaku Mushitako Ilisimori. I'm gonna go this way then. Hey, it's the end of the thing. Perfect. Got a monk. Find this print. So Ali May is wearing the pilot suit from Ruby Weapon. Now, blinded means there's a chance that our weapons just do not strike home. That's just not going to be much fun. Well, that was disappointing. I don't know what he's doing. Gotta find his beacon of passage. Now, I was going to check here to see what's here. Oh, it's not there. Heal. No, so she's wearing the red, like I said, Ruby Weapons pilot suit. You can get the components from Ruby Weapon tokens. We have a Lalafell maid down there too. Kuma Mushitako. Problem is Kuma here. It's just standing on the edge a little too much. Classic Final Fantasy battle music. Just doesn't suit the caster to have, casters need sort of robe-ish kind of things, but I've never fully agreed with the caster robes. It's more of a to me. Items unavailable, and the damage we do is dropped. We're coming right back here. Yourself drilled. Or on bosses. Just delete that right here. Petrify. Next war. Mass Ninja Vanish. Oh, no. Shit. Good luck. And now it's guesswork. Preparation for the summoner. Summon changes came from. Shit. Yeah, no, duh. Where it came from. Like, oh, wait. You think we got something brand new and wonderful? You realize all three Magicites are literally summon Garuda, summon this, summon that, and it's the same assets. It is. Wait, what? Ah. Oh, big cat. A fat cat mount. well, you know, the Phoenix Bird comes out here, and we get the Phoenix Bird, and it's just like, okay. You don't think you've been given anything special or unique? Oh, I'm not complaining. I like what we were given. I'm just saying, you know. Right? And I'm the first person who will say reusing an asset in a game is brilliant. Right? I will be the first person to out on high that that's great. That they jump down and do a massive AoE. Pretty much. It's the same thing. I'll leave that, you know. So, except it's more powerful than ours. Well, not really, because I guess at 90 it's probably the same power. Still funny. Still, it's funny. Like I said, if you can't laugh at stuff, it's like this. We got Eversolace, fair enough, and Cedo Zigon. Everyone just like totally bailed on me right this. It's like, hi. Oh yeah. You know. Got a machinist or machinist. Machinist. And a red mage and a warrior. And like I said, in Heaven on High, you don't need a proper party. Oh, when I'm done, I will probably do some. Nice, someone got the sack. Ah! Ugh. My enemy. Must be about time for a snack. Don't need one, but definitely got that feeling of it, especially when you mistake the beacon of return for the bacon of return. It's like, oh god, that sounds good. It's like, think you might need to stop for a snack, my dude. We have pan-fried fish. A better, nice fluffy rice. It was good. Sprinting. I see there's been more updates in some of the games I like to play. It's like, yeah. What was it? Came out relatively recently. Warfare patch for space engineers. That's fun. Now, I must admit, I can't promise hilarity because I do tend to play that on my own or with my nephew. He likes the voxel games, Minecraft, and all those sort of things. So, we don't mind. The landmines. One at least worth iron. They must have activated their healing and damage reduction and then stepped on another one. The point for a palm is to help you get through the level. We already got the cap off. Alright. That's all good. Oh, what's that? Bunch of guns, which I must admit was definitely needed. Some, like, you know, outside of player-made kinetic weapons and clang cannons, which, you know, not everyone knows how to make, and cause all sorts of hiccups on certain server types. Yeah, no, launching warheads at the enemy is always fun. And everyone's got their own way to do it. I prefer torpedoes myself. Much easier to set up, you know, 5-minute timer if it doesn't hit the target, 5 minutes self-detonate type thing. Right? Oh. but that's my preference. But yeah, outside of, player-made kinetic warheads, or either kinetic or warhead-based torpedoes, missiles, and Gatling guns, there really wasn't a thing. Oh well. So, what they add? Long-range railgun. Takes, high penetration, long rate of fire. Good, well balanced. Sort of a 150 millimeter cannon round. 75 millimeter recoilless rifle type round. 20 millimeter or 30 millimeter autocannon. So, goodies all around. Can't argue. And they made, special controls that, tasty, that are, make it easier for, sad, make it easier for the average player to pick up without having to pile a pile of code, because a number of servers don't let you code because it's far too easy to grief the server with the line of script for the command blocks that exist in that game. Even the simplest things, it won't let you do because it can cause all sorts of problems. So, for simple, easy to understand reasons, what do we have? Someone went a little nuts with their target. Just a touch. Okay, we're good. Right? So, it makes it easier for the average player to build decent weapons versus these few people who've got a lot of experience building all the really powerful weapons, and, well, everyone else is just out of luck. Haha. Explosions. Now, and that's perfectly fair. In my book, absolutely so. Well, you gotta realize why grenade launchers exist in modern warfare. noob tube, as it's called. It's an equalizer. Right? That's why Rust has the Yoka pistol. You have to give the ability for a new player to take on an experienced, high-powered, high-level, top-tier player. And games that allow that have longevity. Games that don't fall over faster. Right? I mean, as much as I like the idea on Ark has, it really does have a problem that, you know, there's no way a player brand spanking new to the game is going to stand a chance against a player who happens to be like piloting around a high-level Rex. Right? Not an absolute in proverbial hotspots of mythology. Right? But, you know, guy in full metal armor versus a sneaky bugger with the Yoka, that's a threat. Well, you can't make the process, like, to the point where everyone will use it either. Hence why it takes several strikes of the Yoka, the noob tube's no good up close, that sort of stuff. Right? You do have to balance it into the game. That's why those exist. Why they'll always be there. Why you can never moan and moon them out of there. RPGs don't get that. It doesn't play well with the RPG mechanics. Right? But I am fond of not including any type of CC. Crowd control abilities. Which is why I promised myself I would never go to Elder Scrolls Online, because it's guaranteed. My favorite magical school, which is Illusion, was pretty much guaranteed to be not as it's been in every other Elder Scrolls game, let's put it that way. Right? Yeah. And those are just basic rules. You can't have people invoke rage or stupid amounts of stupidly long fear or other sort of take someone's control away. No one enjoys that. this real or is this going to go bang? It's over there. There's two more. Ooh, another light spot here. We know it's not that. Nice. And we'll pop that for the next floor. Ah, really? You think? I don't. Jokey Smurf. Actually, just I wish he hadn't have done that one. It's done. I'll get a couple screenshots. Air automation. I know. Everyone else ran so fast. Not much I could do. $67! Yay! Dun, 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 dun. About about 4 more runs. We'll get about 68. Not bad. Which means Tuesday we should get about 69. I'm going to just do something. Cute. I just want a set of all three of them because money. Happy puppy. Two bags, please. Goody, 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 goody. Yes, goody. So fuck Barding. Another one. Goody, goody. Yes, it's a goody, goody. It's a goody, goody. Omboko. Omboko. I'm pretty sure I have the Barding. Oh no. I didn't. Ooh. I do have Bomboko though. Yuki hide. Or Yuki hide. Pronunciations. Trust me, I butcher most people's names. That whole day I spent messing up Susan's name. Constantly calling this person, you're like, Susan, Susan, Susan. Yeah, except the name was Dave. Okay, fine, that's made up. Okay, fine. Made up story, I admit, but funny. That's why we call it a joke. Please. Right? Comes from a piece off the Tick. Original cartoon way back in the bits. He's having fun with this extra-dimensional guy. He's trying to, I don't know what exactly to do with the city, but, you know, it's not the good thing, therefore bad guy. He's trying to say his name, and it's one of those pure consonantal names that are really hard to pronounce, and he's like, this, this, and this. Nope, this, this, and this. No, this, this, and this. No. Susan? It's like, now you're doing it on purpose. Inspiration. Everyone run! Got Corky Strider, Kelenduya Boschka, Hito Yu. Neat! These guys are just gonna go through everything like Goose through everything. Learn of how Goose eat grass. Oh, that room just totally just... Double! Just grind those boots in. He's wearing the classic summoner outfit. You know, horn on the head and as many belts as you can possibly, you know, small set of wings on the back of your stuff and as many belts as you've never seen. range. It's okay if I slow down, so I can catch up fast enough. Besides, we didn't know where the exit was, and it could have been in now. Not understandable. You know, I wore that too. Two open holes into the chest and belts and straps everywhere, and it's like, yeah, fine. I will never understand the idea of just having belt buckles everywhere. You know, it's a different thing to carry something that has pouches on it, because that's inventory space. That's understandable. Like, oh, I got this bandolier of pouches. Okay, I could follow that. That's you having bag space or inventory or something similar. Right? I get that. Just an empty belt, though, that obviously isn't holding the pants up or drawing the armor closed. Or at least to hang a weapon. Yeah, no. That I don't get. And to be honest, I'm not even going to try to understand. Is what it is. So, what do we call that? Cherry picking. It's a logical fallacy. You know, when someone takes something out of context or takes something that wasn't physically said and makes out like that's what actually was said, it's called cherry picking. It's a lie. Okay? Or as you'd call it in a debate, logical fallacy. Just do that. Takes a while for those things to, die. We don't have a tank with us. We're all DPS, so I'm going to pop this steel. Ooh. We have 2 ways to get out of this. We didn't need to. I suppose if that's the way it goes. Well, no, I suppose we got 3 in our inventory right now, so. I hope match sites aren't available next level. Really do. This fight's over. Oh yeah. Told ya. Oh, good. Sheila Geiger. Neat. And Geiger. Sisters? More than sisters? Same guild, same last name. They're either a married couple, which would be very cool to run into out in a place like this. Or actually doing roleplay as in-game sisters, which would be very friggin' cool as well. First 2 in Texans, like, well, I think should have thought of couple first. Considering how many often cases of restrictions it is trying to get a hold of an actual scheduling, that sort of thing, it can be easier sometimes to think of it as one or the other. Either case is very cool. But I go back to that ring that they give you. Pity the ring doesn't do what this does. If you're listening, Square, this stats of this change based on your level. The wedding ring should have had the same thing. Stats based on your levels, based on your class. Automatically. That's what the wedding ring should have done. I think it's a set item. I don't know if they've changed it since I last looked at it way the hell back. Like, uh-oh. Double otter. Double otter. Double otter. Double otter. It's funny. Oh, it'd really be funny if we run it back and there was a third one. The third one. It's like wank. Ah. Otter, Otter team report. I don't mind. No. Like I said, it's all about getting you up easier. My own personal take on it is some things should be saved to the end, just because they make everything that much easier at the high end. Especially for the last level or two, if you can save stuff like petrifies and things, because it just means you're not got people digging into their cooldowns coming up for the boss fight. And really, that's all it's about. It's like, so we have Ice Bee, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. That sounds like this. Talon again, and Hito. If Hito stays on long enough, I'll have to go away. Thank you. I don't yawn myself to death again. That's the one problem when you sneak into the thing. One of them turns around, it's like, hey! Well, you forgot to take your shoes off. So, it's like playing bits and pieces of Starbase. I love the shipbuilding mechanism. I like the whole 9 yards of goodies in there, but I suspect devs are going to get themselves in a little bit of trouble. Not with anything you might think, but actually because of space stations. How could space stations get them in trouble? Well, space stations unfortunately take up, well, space. Much like the base building in Ark. You get the case of people will run into it in the case of guys who got in early have all the best places, and all the newbies got to navigate this maze of allowed to fly through and not allowed to fly through territory. Okay. And like I said, that's the issue. It's not a problem. Not in general. Or it may not be a problem, but it might turn into a problem. Right? If all the good areas are sort of taken up, what do? You can't wipe out those people there. You have to force them to either fight or defend themselves, or can't fight them off or drive them out of the area. Yeah, what happens, right? Like I said, it'll be interesting to see how they handle it, but I don't think anyone would point out that that's not a equalized issue on Ark when you got someone who's built on, say, Carnivore Island on the island, or one of the Carnivore Herbivore Islands on the island map, and they've got a stupid number of guns. So what's your recourse? Keep them there? Don't have much other choice, do you? It's always going to be a problem when you allow people to put down locations. The server's gotta remember it. I mean, same thing goes with space engineers on the star system now, right? How many bases, like, sure, there's a lot of territory in there, but, you know, how many people can set up massive bases on Earth, or Earth-like planet? We do it because it's just like pop gun type time. Oh, he's too fast. Just zoop out. So he's doing the super power level moves. Oh well. Like I said, we'd like to say thank you, but it is what it is. Right? How long before how many bases can, say, Europa handle? How many large bases? Maybe 2, 3, but how many factions? 1? Right? Same thing with the other on the moon itself, or all the other little things. Planets may be able to hold 2 or 3 factions holding different areas. Log. Right? So you see what I mean? You offer up locations, eventually it fills in. Right? That's why Rust does Sophie Tsubaki. That's why Rust does wipes, weekly, monthly, bi-monthly, however often they set them, right? Bi-weekly, whatever. It's not to basically reset the power level. Some servers don't BP wipe. It's to basically allow locations to basically be given up. Allow people to start building new places again. Whereas Korin Baloff, Bedrick Drusilla, Saya Tsukiyami. Yeah, just stepped on a landmine. We have a samurai, do not want to stand here. I'm not worried. They'll figure it out. Right? It's a pair of high-end casters. Should be no issues. But this is what I mean. Right? So whenever there's territory, you have to find a way to reset it. Or just not let them actually build bases. Right? Or, where Final Fantasy has its issue is the housing system. Yes, I am going to bring that up. It's not bad, but the server system, the technology, the server system technology they have for the actual where things are located, that, on the other hand, it's an older tech, if you would. Right? It's a piece of older technology that's not quite the same. Because it's not quite the same, like I noted this when we were loading up, right? The interiors of buildings qualify as one type of server connection, and then this, right? So you can't sort of rely on nothing. The monsters, but we know where they ending, so You get the idea. Right? In order for everyone to have their own private housing and stuff like that, the servers that all the housing is on actually need to be physically updated, but if they update it, it's possible they will lose the current, like, I should say not updated. When I'm saying updated, I mean hardware updated, and sort of this, but it's not how they were originally. Rid of that. That sucks. Auto heal gone with no one's ability to really recover health points. Yeah, that's asking trouble. Right? So you see what I mean? This is why people have trouble finding housing and why it takes so long for housing servers to sort of pop up, and the whole plot thing is the limitation of the technology, what they wanted to do. Glad I didn't step on a mine. That would have been terrible. But yeah, that's the sort of the reason why, with people having an issue trying to get a hold of housing, those who got in early have houses for their FCs. Now the apartment system's a little bit different because personally see that as a waste of that. But hey, it's done. But yeah, you know, this is why, if you would, why the housing has such an issue. You can put it on newer hardware, but the actual, you know, the code behind it has to be patched up so they can easily instance out more instances for housing, more wards, if you would. That's why there's a problem with housing. Then on top of that, not all housing areas are, well, not to say the same. Look at me run around in circles. Right? You see what I mean? But because, like I said, right? And then you have small plots, medium plots, and large plots. And some people just like, no, I really want a large plot. Some people, no, I'd be okay with a small plot. You know, some people just want small plots for their own personal houses, and then they want the large plots for sort of the FCs, and the medium plots are wanted, and can't please everyone all the time. Like, some locations are really awesome. Some, not so much. That's why when they open up new housing plots, it's a big damn deal, and everyone races trying to get them. Now you know why. But yeah, when the servers were highly loaded after Endwalkers came out, and they were highly overloaded, I don't know if it's because they've added more room, or if there's been a drop in players because of it. either or. Right? Like I say, it's when we tried to go into the EFC, it would just basically say, no, server load was too high, we can't let you go in there. Which technically means all the internals of all the houses are all on the same server, if you would. Somehow. Or, you know, the physical structure system for each of them, I should say. So, you know, the overload definitely revealed the flaw in the system, so to me. Am I worried that people can't get access to the system like that? Well, no, because it's like I said, everyone's house is all tied together on the same singular box for all intents and purposes. Either accessing the singular database on a single machine or something like that. When you realize that, well, it changes the math a lot. It does. So, I say there's sort of the beginning and end of it. So, whenever someone says, "Oh, this and all that," well, you know, I know they're trying to open up a new housing section, and I know it's going to be basically overbid and run up the wall pretty fast once it opens. There'll be people basically going online and staying online until, you know, it's like hanging outside of the new housing area, just going. This. I mean, will there be a chance to basically rebuild the Garlean sectors? Maybe. If there is, would there be extra housing like they've done with the Foundation? If the answer is yes, then you know full well people will go honk balls to make sure that they get a chance to buy some of that property. Precisely because of how annoying it is to get it. So there you go. Right? Well, fans working nice and hard, keeping the thing cool. You see what I'm saying? Well, maybe you don't. But scarcity does make people do crazy things. Like, for instance, imagine a survival game, but no guns ever broke. Like, guns never broke. Right? Rust, but your AK never breaks type thing. Right? People would be like, there's no purpose to holding onto the other guns except for the fact that they prevent other people from holding onto the guns or something like this. Which bother, you know, all if unless you lose one because someone swift, so you wind up sitting on massive amounts of firepower for little reason other than Can I miss them a bit more, please? I think I want to. Holy Scully. We got Sims, Baldric again, but this time we have Newick Moon. We picked up a gunblade. Why the letter, fancified letter Z is a gunblade thing? I don't know. Why does the summoner's thing look like a, like why does the samurai's, you know, the black mage makes sense, it's a fireball. This Sage basically is a recreation of Sage's weapon. Summoner, it's like a, teardrop fireball looking thing almost. Good, I didn't hear it go kaloot, which says it's up and running. Terrible. Oops. Lost the mouse. Happens sometimes. You'll be having your mouse like on here, and because it's a pale color, and this is pale, or this. You'll lose, and you couldn't have it set to like bright red or something. You'd lose it on something red on the screen, guaranteed. Oh, makes me feel happy. I blew it up. Well, take the game I liked, Heaven on High. No, not this. Right? Worlds Adrift. Right? I liked it. But it was definitely wrongly constructed, and you could feel it. You had to do so much PvE exploration just to be good equipment for PvP. So I was like, what's the point? Right? And then all economy was backwards as well. Right? Things that should have been, you know, top of the line guns consume low grade ammunition. Big engines use next to no fuel, whereas low powered guns use the exact same ammunition. Yes, not kidding. The difference between a grade 5 cannon and a grade 1 cannon was literally grade 5 cannon would blow you out of the skies without so much as a look. Do it. And the grade 1, you'd be lucky if it could pop around 10 feet across the map. Right? Both use the exact same ammunition. You know, it's not like a revolver versus a python, just put the rust comparison, where, you know, the only difference is 20 damage. It was like, you know, what's the difference between like 500 damage? Right? No, it was massive damage change. So, you know, what is a massive damage shift? For no real extra cost. Fuel is plentiful in the low areas, but non-existent in the highest tier area, forcing anyone who wants to refuel to come back to low areas. It was a recipe for disaster, right? It really was a recipe for disaster. Just do that, it makes it easier. I don't know why people don't pop, you know, there's 3 of a kind, you may as well just use it. I would like them to hold those, the boss, but you know, I can't help it if they push it. I can ask, but... No. Yeah, no running out of things to yammer about. Well, that it's getting on the. Well, yeah, effectively it's strength, so. One of each, so. I don't know why he went that way, but he did. Oranges in his screenshots of the actual fight, yeah. And not going to get another run in, unfortunately. But what we can do is we're going to make it gold saucer. This will, of course, allow us to sell our goodies and make it in time for one more gate. Why not? See how many people are on playing the game. Playing Pokemon Arceus. You have that? I do. Have you played it yet? No. Make it a point to basically buy the games I want can versus Uni can sell these. Okay, let's have a look here. So Bomboka, I don't think it's worth a huge amount on the market. Okay, so let's just say 750. What's the blue Morpho worth? Yeah. Really? 1,600? Oh no, he sells for about 1,400,000. So say, bring it right down. This 38,000. Really? 33,000. Upset the scalpers pretty good. Yeah. Good night, my girls. Woohoo, leap of faith. Yeah. More people are on. What was on the weekend? Right, I have to wonder. Abel Behringer's eyes brim over with tears. Maybe I didn't like this one. Yo. Bronze. Second bronze. Silver. Another bronze. One more bronze here. Let's see what I do. Oops. I mistimed that run. And back to the beginning. That jump is annoying, that button there, because it drops down and then you have to remember to come forward. Oh! There's a vertical there. It's not quite Jump King's frustration, but it is frustrating. You can run the course dozens of times, still be upset with it. Oh, markers. Felt that one throw me on the side. It's not so bad then. Alright. Yeah, there's a gold there. And how many silver I got? I got them all. I'm just gonna do this then. Grab the gold. Now go for the gold. I think I did. Missed that first jump. It's horrible. Stand right here. Well, at least they fell down there. Yay, Queenie's got the idea. Grab the goal for 4,000 or 2,000, then go back for the 500. So if you fall, you're going all the way back. Oh my god, why? The goal before the gold if you're not sure. Get good. Got it. Billy Hawkins got it. Lena Bean. Yeah. Good one. Xander got it. Yay. Eleanor Silva. Good jump. It's wearing my coat. You start noticing your things as you go. Undead rogue. Okay. Good jumps, good jumps. Good jumps. Jessica Rabbit. Well done. Oh, we had to stop him. Up, Willie Hawkins, down you go. Had to stop. Someone's got a name and they got the RP, so they're actually role playing as the character. So good for them. Good one. Good jump. Oh, someone's got a sprint set. No! Goodbye. Oh, no, you made it. You're fine. Dollhouse, huh? Good jumps, good jumps. Still got a bunch of people racing for it. Got 1 minute. to get the goal before you try to go for the bits. Uh-oh. 6, 5, 4. Go, 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 go! Yay! Those who tried to get the gold, like I said, it's 2,000 to complete. That's the goal, and then another 2,000 for actually doing the rest of those cactars. If you're ever doing it, get the goal before the gold. The gold's always in a painful spot to go after. Yes, you can get it on your first gold, but I always prefer to grab the goal first. Guarantee me my 2,000 points versus risking it all for 500, especially on that one, where it's not just a case if you have to go back up, or you might fall and land on something you can, only fall halfway down. That one, if you fall, it's all the way back to the very start again. Ooh, that's right, I haven't done that, have I? No, there's one more thing to do. One more thing to do before the night's out, and I might as well do it with everyone watching as well, which is the fashion piece. I don't care about actually doing it, but it's 10,000 MGP for literally coming here, talking to the masters, and go present yourself for judging. Now, if you're wearing gear that's not soul-bound, it will soul-bind to you, so you can't ever sort of auction it again. Usually, you'll find if you're wearing 4 or 5 pieces of gear that's been dyed certain colors, that's enough to get you over the line. Maybe not 100%, but over the line for the extra bonus point. It'll give me about 75, 70, somewhere in there. So 68, 72 or something dumb. There it is. So basically, sleight of hand, simple as best, cute as a button, jewels of yellow. So obviously this has got something with a Helivin in it, or Helios, Heliophynt in it, which is a yellow stone, which is a bracelet. Craft. Simple as best, it's probably a simple shirt or survival type shirt, sleight of hand, rogues or other type cut bottom. Cute as a button, who knows. But there are Twitter pages and there are forum pieces that people figuring this stuff out and putting it up there. So if you want to subscribe to them, you can. You're guaranteed big coin every week if you're willing to drop a little gil from time to time. If not, 10,000 was awarded to you. Just once a week. No. There it is. Finally came in. So, do it. Anyhow, I think that's all we wrote on that one, my friends. So we're out for the evening. We will basically continue Heaven on High runs tomorrow. That's right. It's time to go. So, more Heaven on High tomorrow. We should at least get 70. Easy enough. And then, machinist run. Most likely. And yes, we will stay up for that run until we complete all the quests, or at least complete the first 60, and then we may do 60 to 70 again like we did with the Bard. Depends on how long it takes. So, if you're up for that, come in tomorrow. We'll be there and square and doing some more. So, once again, I'm out for the evening. I've been Phelan Darkfire. Goodbye, and catch at the same time next time. 7:30 Mountain Standard, 8 o'clock or 8:30 Pacific. Laters.